What if the color that makes you feel alive is slowly poisoning you? What if the smile you paint every morning hides the same metal once used in gasoline and industrial pipes? According to FDA and independent lab findings, over 400 lipstick shades sold in American stores contain measurable traces of lead, a neurotoxin that builds up quietly in your body with every single swipe. The danger isn't dramatic, it's invisible, accumulating day after day, molecule by molecule, until the mirror you trust becomes the very thing that betrays you. For millions of women, lipstick isn't luxury, it's confidence, identity, survival. But what happens when that comfort turns into contamination? When the color that empowers ends up in your bloodstream? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Tonight we're uncovering 6 major lipstick brands linked to alarming levels of toxic metals. The one sitting in your purse right now. But don't panic just yet, because at the end of each story, we'll show you which safer, lead-free options still let you shine, without poisoning the reflection looking back at you. Number 1. Maybelline. It began like every viral beauty craze. Bright, bold, and everywhere. Maybelline Superstay swept across American shelves, promising power lips that last 24 hours. But what no one asked was, what makes it stay that long? That's where the story turns from glamour to grit. Independent tests have shown that some of the most popular Superstay shades, Pioneer, Ruler, Seductress, weren't just pigmented, they were polluted. Trace levels of lead, arsenic, and chromium were detected, chemicals more familiar in car paint than cosmetics. These metals cling to the skin the way debt clings to a paycheck, hard to remove and leaving a stain behind. The formula's staying power wasn't magic, it was chemistry gone rogue. The FDA's quiet inclusion of Maybelline among brands showing elevated heavy metal presence in random testing should have triggered alarms. Instead, the company doubled down with statements that sounded like they were dipped in PR varnish. All products meet regulatory standards. Technically true. But so did the lead pipes of Flint, Michigan, before the crisis began. Internal safety sheets leaked from L'Oreal's New Jersey facility revealed that several Superstay batches used pigment additives from industrial coating suppliers, materials marked as not suitable for ingestion. The irony? Lipstick is the one cosmetic that people literally ingest every day. The secret behind that famous 24-hour wear wasn't some miracle formula, it was plastic. Superstay's film-forming agents are derived from polyethylene and silicone polymers, the same ones used in waterproof sealants and shoe polishes. These compounds create a thin, non-breathable layer that traps moisture, bacteria, and heat against your lips. Dermatologists have reported surging cases of allergic reactions, dryness, and microcracks among frequent users. It's beauty that behaves like duct tape, smooth at first but suffocating over time. But perhaps the most disturbing stain isn't on your lips, it's on Maybelline's conscience. Investigations into their supply chain uncovered disturbing labor practices in pigment mining regions of India, where mica and iron oxide are extracted by women and children without proper safety gear. Exposure to lead and silica dust is common, and some workers earn less than $2 a day. The same color that gives Superstay its rich shimmer comes from a trail of human suffering. It's beauty built on backs that will never wear it. And then came the twist no one wanted to hear. Long wear also means long term. A 2022 Harvard study found that several long-lasting lipsticks, including Maybelline's, contained PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals linked to thyroid problems, infertility, and cancer. These substances don't just cling to your skin, they accumulate in your body, resisting breakdown for decades. Superstay, it turns out, really lives up to its name. It stays in you. Forever. Still, the real tragedy lies in how quietly this happens. For working women who buy it because it's affordable and trustworthy, Superstay feels like a small miracle, something that survives through a 12-hour shift or a long day on the bus. But when that miracle hides toxic persistence beneath its shine, it's not endurance, it's exploitation. The American beauty market has mastered one cruel art, making danger look like a discount. You deserve color that fades honestly, not poison that clings in silence. Instead of Superstay, try Axiology Balmies made with coconut and sunflower waxes, Hene Organics, luxury lip tint for rich hydration without PFAS, or Air Perez olive oil lipstick, which uses natural pigments and vitamin E for comfort, not chemical armor. They may not promise 24 hours, but they promise peace of mind. Real beauty should never outlast your health. Number 2. L'Oreal. It started quietly, a few scattered reports, a few tests no one wanted to read. Then the numbers hit like a brick. Measurable lead in lipstick still sold across American shelves. The name that led the list? L'Oreal. More precisely, its best-selling Color Riche line, the golden tube that millions of women carried in their purses, now tied to lead levels reaching more than 7 parts per million, enough to raise alarms in any lab worth its microscope. And while the FDA brushed it off as within limits, toxicologists reminded the public of a brutal fact. There's no safe amount of lead in the human body. None. Not for your blood, not for your bones, and certainly not for your lips. Color Riche was supposed to be Paris in a swipe, a touch of glamour that made the checkout line at Walmart feel like the Champs-Élysées. But the truth was, closer to a crime scene. Behind the marketing gloss and airbrushed perfection, those pigments came from overseas factories where industrial oxides were ground alongside metals used in car batteries and paint pigments. A European audit flagged L'Oreal's supply chain for traceability gaps, a polite way of saying they couldn't tell you whether your true red shade came from a clean mine or a chemical pit. It's like selling bottled spring water without knowing if it came from a mountain or a mop bucket. Whistleblowers later revealed what consumers were never meant to know. Internal testing had confirmed the contamination, but executives allegedly decided reformulation was too expensive. A PR cleanup costs less than a chemical cleanup, one memo reportedly joked. A dark punchline that would sound right at home in a dystopian sitcom about capitalism. The brand didn't just gamble with its image, it gambled with the health of millions of women who trusted it. For many, Color Riche wasn't a luxury. It was a small, affordable joy, a $9 escape from inflation and exhaustion. Yet even that comfort came laced with betrayal. And betrayal is exactly the right word. Because while Americans trusted government oversight, the FDA had quietly admitted that cosmetics aren't tested before they hit the shelves. The fox was not just guarding the henhouse, it was selling tickets to the show. Meanwhile, lobbyists funded by the Personal Care Products Council, heavily backed by L'Oreal, poured millions into blocking bills that would have made heavy metal testing mandatory. Washington smiled, the industry celebrated, and consumers paid the price in silence. But the problem didn't stop with lead. Independent lab analyses found BHT, a known endocrine disruptor, and microplastic beads that wash down drains into rivers and fish. Each makeup wipe became a miniature oil spill. Every morning routine turned into an environmental crime scene, a pollution cycle in pink and gold. L'Oreal, the self-proclaimed pioneer of sustainable beauty, somehow managed to turn vanity into a vector of contamination, from your bathroom sink to the Gulf of Mexico. Even worse, this pattern of deception wasn't new. The FTC once penalized L'Oreal for false anti-aging claims, while internal reports accused it of exporting banned ingredients under the Maybelline label. It's a story older than most of its customers. When profit calls, conscience gets powdered over. The same hands that mix the pigment also write the apology letters, and those press statements, tested for safety, formulated with care, sound as hollow as a tin can painted red. For the working women who bought Color Riche, cashiers, nurses, retirees stretching their social security checks. The hurt isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's realizing the product that made them feel put together for church or a shift at the diner was quietly eroding. Their trust molecule by molecule. That's not glamour, that's betrayal in lipstick form. If you've had enough of false beauty wrapped in gold foil, it's time to look toward honest color. Safer options like Burt's Bees, 100% natural lipstick, Ilia Color, Block, High Impact, 100% pure fruit. Pigmented lipstick, Gabriel Cosmetics lipstick, and Alima Pure lip tint offer rich pigment without lead, BHT, or plastic fillers. They don't whisper promises from Paris. They deliver safety from your local pharmacy shelf. Real color, real integrity, and no poison hiding behind the shine. Number 3. Revlon. For decades, Revlon was the gold standard of glamour, the brand that painted America's lips through wars, weddings, and weekly paychecks. But today, the same black and gold tube that once symbolized class now stands as a relic of corporate decay. The Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick, Das Wort Tutsi Fastkörper, that familiar drugstore favorite, hides a darker legacy beneath its shimmer, a formula that reads like a chemistry lesson gone wrong. Independent tests from environmental watchdogs found measurable traces of lead, up to nearly 6 parts per million, along with cadmium and barium, heavy metals more at home in auto paint and industrial plastics than in something millions of women put on their mouths. It's as if Revlon never left the 1950s, only modernizing its ads while freezing its ingredients in a time capsule of contamination. The scandal runs deeper than pigments. When California enacted Proposition 65, requiring clear warnings for lead exposure, Revlon didn't reform. It lobbied. Documents show the company pushed for loopholes allowing trace contamination to go unreported in cosmetics, ensuring no lead warnings would ever tarnish its displays at CVS or Walmart. What could have been a moment of consumer protection turned into a masterclass in corporate camouflage. Revlon called it compliance. Regulators called it compromise. Consumers just called it lipstick. By the time the lawsuit started rolling in, the damage was already generational. FDA surveys detected heavy metals in multiple lipstick brands, including Revlon's, yet the agency dismissed the results as not posing measurable public health risk. That phrase, or bureaucratic poetry for too small to care, and Tarib became Revlon's shield, but an internal email leaked from its Newark manufacturing division told a different story. Managers had been repeatedly warned about contamination spikes from third-party labs. Their reply? Cosmetics are not food. A cynical joke, except women ingest an estimated 4 pounds of lipstick in a lifetime. When not food becomes a corporate defense, it's clear the industry stopped seeing customers as people and started seeing them as statistics. And while the chemistry was questionable, the ethics were appalling. Investigations revealed that some of Revlon's mica and oxide suppliers operated in unregulated Indian mines where women and children worked without safety gear, scraping glittering minerals from rock faces by hand. The shimmer on American lips came from lungs half a world away. The same company that built its image on women's empowerment was quietly feeding off the labor of those who had none. If that doesn't make the color fade, nothing will. Financially, the rot caught up. In 2022, Revlon filed for bankruptcy under Chapter 11, crushed by debt, lawsuits, and public distrust. It wasn't just bad economics. It was poetic justice. Even as the brand poured millions into clean beauty marketing campaigns, its own formulas still relied on petrochemical waxes, parabens, and BHA, a synthetic antioxidant once used in jet fuel. Dermatologists have long warned that daily exposure to such chemicals can disrupt hormones, weaken liver function, and accelerate skin aging. A cruel twist for the women who bought Revlon seeking youth. And yet, for millions of older working-class Americans, Revlon wasn't a luxury. It was memory. It was the shade their mothers wore to church, the lipstick they saved for job interviews, the one constant in a world of rising prices and shrinking dignity. That's what makes its downfall sting so deeply. It's not just the betrayal of beauty, it's the betrayal of trust built over generations. Revlon didn't just sell color, it sold belonging and then outsourced it to the cheapest bidder. But the story doesn't have to end in poison. There are safer, transparent alternatives that don't trade conscience for color. Try Vapor Beauty high-voltage lipstick with its organic botanical oils, or Elate Cosmetics lip color crafted with fair trade shea butter and iron oxides verified for purity. For rich pigment without petrochemicals, Bite Beauty's Power Move hydrating lipstick remains a standout. They don't need loopholes, lawsuits, or lobbyists, just honesty. Because in an age where every shine hides a shadow, true beauty is the one that doesn't have to be cleaned up in court. Number 4. MAC. MAC used to symbolize rebellion, that flash of red that said, "I'm bold, I'm free, I'm different." But somewhere between the stage lights and the boardrooms, rebellion got repackaged into something far more corporate and far more toxic. The MAC Retro Matte Lipstick, crowned by its cult shade Ruby Woo, is one of the most recognized lipsticks in the world. Yet behind that icon status hides a quiet storm of controversy, from heavy metal traces and formulas to labor exploitation and even digital surveillance scandals that would make Orwell blush. Independent lab analyses and internal filings have revealed that several MAC lipsticks, including retro matte shades, contain measurable traces of lead, chromium, and nickel, contaminants that regulators call trace, but toxicologists call accumulative. Over time, those metals don't wash off. They settle in your bones and blood. The lipstick that refuses to fade also refuses to leave your body. To make the colors stay flawless, MAC uses a complex mix of plastic-like sealants, isododecane, fluorocompounds, and trimethylsiloxysilicate, polymers found in industrial coatings and waterproof automotive paints. Dermatologists have linked prolonged exposure to lip cracking and chemical dermatitis, a cruel twist for a brand that sells confidence that won't fade. The hypocrisy doesn't stop at the chemistry. MAC, under Estee Lauder, markets itself as progressive, ethical, and artist-driven, but documents filed under the Modern Slavery Act show raw pigment suppliers traced back to Indian mica mines, where reporters from Reuters and The Guardian found underage laborers digging and suffocating dust for pennies. The shimmer in Ruby Woo isn't just pigment, it's powdered exploitation. MAC insists their mica is ethically sourced, but watchdogs have repeatedly exposed ghost suppliers who pass off uncertified materials through middlemen. It's a supply chain so tangled in deceit that even the word ethical sounds ironic under the fluorescent light of a department store counter. Then came another layer of betrayal, this time digital. In 2025, a class action lawsuit in Illinois accused MAC of secretly collecting biometric facial data through its live try-on virtual makeup tool. Consumers alleged that the brand scanned and stored facial geometry without informed consent, violating privacy laws. The company defended the practice as customer experience innovation. To many, it felt more like a beauty brand turning faces into data points, another way to profit from the very women it pretends to empower. Even MAC's good deeds come with a gloss of irony. Every time controversy brews, the company launches another Viva Glam campaign, promising that lipstick sales support AIDS research and LGBTQ+ causes. Noble, yes, but also conveniently timed. When consumer groups requested full ingredient transparency under the 2023 Safe Cosmetics Modernization Act, MAC refused, citing proprietary protection. That's corporate shorthand for, you don't get to know what's in your tube. Transparency, it seems, isn't fashionable, and the cracks in the brand's image go beyond chemistry and privacy. Reports surfaced of counterfeit MAC lipsticks flooding global markets, particularly in Asia, containing shocking levels of lead, some as high as 36,000 parts per million. MAC publicly condemned the fakes, yet experts argue that its lax supply oversight helped fuel the problem. A company that built its empire on authenticity is now surrounded by imitations that are literally poisonous. For older working-class women who once saw MAC as the rebellious alternative to stale drugstore brands, this reality cuts deep. What was once a symbol of freedom and artistry has turned into a cautionary tale about corporate vanity and chemical compromise. The brand that told women to own their power forgot that power starts with truth, but not all color comes with corrosion. Safer, ethically made options like Kosas Weightless Lip Color, Hush Plus Dotty Organic Lipstick, or Rituel de Fil Enchanted Lip Sheer offer rich, expressive pigments without phthalates, PFAS, or synthetic polymers. They don't need a cause campaign to justify their conscience, just ingredients that respect both people and planet. Because true rebellion today isn't painting over the problem, it's refusing to wear the lie. Number 5. CoverGirl. There was a time when CoverGirl meant simplicity, a mirror of middle America, smiling faces, and that innocent slogan, easy, breezy, beautiful. But dig beneath the pastel packaging and airbrushed nostalgia, and what you'll find is a slow-motion chemical betrayal. The CoverGirl Continuous Color line, that $7 comfort lipstick so many women grew up with, has quietly become one of the most contaminated formulas still sitting on US shelves. What was sold as safe for every woman turned out to be a silent carrier of PFAS, parabens, and mineral oil derivatives. The same forever chemicals used in non-stick pans and firefighting foam. Researchers at the University of Notre Dame tested over 230 cosmetics and found fluorine, a PFAS marker, in more than half, including CoverGirl shades like Rose Quartz, Sugar Almond, and Midnight Mauve. Those colors weren't just lipstick, they were a science experiment no one volunteered for. The irony is almost poetic. CoverGirl, the brand that built its empire on the word clean, is now at the center of a legal firestorm over toxic contamination. In a lawsuit filed by the nonprofit Toxin Free USA, CoverGirl was accused of marketing products as sustainable and safe, while internal tests allegedly found more than 6,000 parts per million of organic fluorine in some makeup lines. For perspective, that's thousands of times more than what scientists say should ever touch human skin. PFAS compounds are notorious. They build up in the body, linked to infertility, liver damage, thyroid disruption, and even cancer. And the worst part? The company didn't deny their existence. They redefined them. Coty, CoverGirl's parent company, told consumers the products were compliant with US standards, a phrase that now reads more like a corporate loophole than a safety assurance. In the United States, cosmetics testing is largely voluntary. Compliant simply means not yet caught. Behind the fluorescent drugstore lights, another scandal brewed. A whistleblower from a North Carolina CoverGirl facility revealed that industrial mixing tanks, once used for aerosol deodorants and hairsprays, were repurposed for lipstick production without full solvent cleaning. When staff complained about the smell of residual chemicals, management's solution was not to halt production, but to increase perfume concentration to hide the odor. They didn't clean the tanks. They perfumed the poison. It's the kind of logic that turns corporate cost-cutting into a public health hazard, and consumer loyalty into collateral damage. CoverGirl's continuous color slogan takes on new meaning once you realize what actually makes the color last. Dermatologists have identified that its staying power comes from acrylates, copolymers, plastic-based film formers similar to those in floor polish. They create a thin, airtight layer that traps moisture and bacteria, turning your lips into a petri dish. Users report chronic dryness, peeling, and darkened lip pigment over time, side effects indistinguishable from prolonged plastic exposure. It's not long-lasting lipstick, it's industrial coating with a fragrance budget, and the stain doesn't stop at chemistry. Investigations into Coty's global supply chain uncovered pigment suppliers in Guangdong, China, where workers handle unsealed heavy metal oxides without respirators or ventilation. While CoverGirl's commercials parade images of empowerment and inclusivity, the pigments in those ads come from hands stained by toxic dust. It's the American paradox, exporting danger to import beauty. The same country that buys vegan lipstick for self-care funds, factories that can't even promise safe air for their workers. Even after lawsuits and public criticism, Coty's response has remained a masterclass in avoidance. We maintain high safety standards, their PR insists, as if slogans could scrub PFAS out of a bloodstream. No apology, no reformulation plan, no published heavy metal testing. Just the same smiling models, selling the illusion of transparency while hiding behind marketing fog. For the working women and retirees who've used CoverGirl for decades, for weddings, job interviews, church mornings, that kind of betrayal cuts deeper than chemistry. This isn't just lipstick, it's nostalgia dipped in denial. But you don't have to keep wearing the lie. Safer, genuinely transparent alternatives exist. Brands like Ether Beauty Cream Lipstick with recyclable packaging and PFAS-free formulas, Alverde Nader Cosmetic Lip Color made with mineral pigments and plant oils, or Beauty Counter Sheer Genius Conditioning Lipstick, tested and certified toxin-free. They may not carry a decades-old jingle, but they carry something rarer, honesty. Because in the end, real beauty doesn't come from easy, breezy promises. It comes from companies that don't need to hide what's in the tube. Number 6. Wet n Wild. For years, Wet n Wild Megalast was the underdog that made people believe in beauty on a budget. The $3 miracle that promised red carpet color for corner store prices. It was the lipstick of small-town proms, first paychecks, and mothers buying a small luxury between bills. But beneath its bubblegum pink packaging, that budget miracle carried a darker pigment, one tinted by contamination, deceit, and corporate neglect. Independent tests from the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics and Consumer Reports detected lead, arsenic, and even toluene, the same solvent used in paint thinner, just in several Megalast shades. One lab sample registered 6.5 parts per million of lead, placing it among the highest contamination levels for American drugstore lipsticks. Wet n Wild didn't deny the findings. It simply wrapped the truth in corporate poetry, calling it within permissible limits. In plain English, it's toxic but legal. The contamination wasn't accidental, it was structural. Insiders revealed that Markwin's beauty brands, Wet n Wild's parent company, outsourced pigment production to factories in Shenzhen, where industrial dyes, toy coatings, and cosmetic pigments shared the same machinery. One audit discovered batches of lip color being mixed on equipment still stained from metallic automotive paint. When the FDA later questioned the company's incomplete disclosure of contaminants, Markwin's response was a masterpiece of loophole language. They reminded regulators that cosmetics face no pre-market approval requirements. Translation: we'll test it when it's convenient. In the beauty industry, plausible deniability is just another ingredient, and if the chemicals inside weren't concerning enough, the formula itself adds insult to injury. Megalast's signature "won't budge" finish comes from polybutene and synthetic wax polymers, the same plastic-based agents used in car lubricants and tire shine. They make the color cling to your lips like an oil film on asphalt. Dermatologists have long warned that such compounds can dry the skin barrier, cause cracking, and trap bacteria, creating the perfect pathway for heavy metals to penetrate deeper. The product's staying power isn't a sign of innovation, it's a side effect of industrial chemistry. Beauty sealant, one toxicologist called it. Once it's on, it doesn't just resist smudging, it resists your body's defenses. Wet n Wild's marketing has always leaned on moral appeal. Cruelty-free. Vegan. For everyone. But in 2019, investigative reporters discovered the brand's products quietly sold in mainland China, where animal testing was still required for imported cosmetics. Customs filings showed shipments of Wet n Wild goods entering Chinese retail under partner distributors, contradicting the company's public claims. When confronted, the brand issued a statement that would make any PR executive proud. "We are exploring new markets." That's one way to describe exporting products to a country where animals are still tested, so Western customers can sleep well under the illusion of ethics. Cruelty-free at home. Complicit abroad. A double standard dipped in rose pigment. Even beyond the ethics, there's the economics. Wet Nenni. Wild's biggest customer base, older women, teens, and low-income workers, are the ones least protected by the system that enables it. They buy Megalast because it's affordable, because it lasts through a shift, because it feels like dignity in a tube. But that same formula, laced with PFAS and endocrine disruptors like ethylhexyl methoxycinnamate, builds up silently in their bloodstream. Scientists warn that over time, those chemicals mimic estrogen and can interfere with reproductive health. The lipstick lasts, but so do its side effects. And this is where the story turns from cosmetics to class. In America's beauty aisles, the cheapest products often carry the heaviest burdens. Wealth buys purity, while poverty buys poison wrapped in pastel. This isn't consumer choice, it's chemical hierarchy. Wet n Wild didn't just sell makeup. It sold risk, disguised as empowerment, and every smiling influencer video or vegan-friendly tagline only deepens the illusion. For those who want color without contamination, alternatives exist. Real clean beauty, not just the hashtag version. Inika Organic Lipstick made with shea butter and avocado oil offers rich pigment without PFAS or lead. River Organics. Tinted lip balm delivers subtle shine from coconut wax and mineral tints, and Zhao Essence of Nature lipstick uses bamboo packaging and certified organic ingredients with full transparency reports. They may not cost $3, but they also won't make your bloodstream part of the price tag, because real value isn't how long the color stays on your lips, it's how safely it leaves your body. Truth isn't always glamorous, but it saves lives. Subscribe, stay aware, and never let another brand decide your safety.
Thanks so much for sticking with us to the very end. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our daily updates. And now feel free to check out some of our latest and most popular videos showing up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.